Samsung's third generation folding devices are here and they are pretty impressive in many ways. You know, Samsung loves to synchronize their numbering, so they have also named their flipping phone the Z Flip 3 even though it's their second iteration. The display on the back is now significantly bigger, allowing you to see more than one notifications at a time. That's what many people wanted. The glass you see here is the latest Gorilla Glass Victus, and the aluminum chassis is what Samsung says the strongest material ever used on a phone. Well, pretty much every company says that these days, and very few actually live up to the hype. So yeah, we'll just have to see down the line. The existing Galaxy Z Flip is not very good in terms of the durability, like many people have had their folds breaking on them even after a month of use, so yeah, time will tell. Both phones are now surprisingly rated for IPX8 ingress protection, so while they are not dust proof, they can be immersed in water just like many other Samsung phones. Well, seems to me that Samsung has kind of given up on waterproofing the hinge itself, so they have waterproofed the above and below or side-by-side halves individually, so they are keeping the water from entering the individual sections even though it gets into the hinge itself. So yeah, it's not technically water penetration proof. I mean, water can still get into the hinge, but it doesn't get into the critical components like the electronics and batteries, so the phone remains operational. I know it's a lot of workarounds to get your phone a little bit wet, but I mean, it's always nice to have. Many people, including myself, have the habit of washing their phone once in a while, so having your $2,000 phone not die on you is a great thing. Things are a little more exciting with the Z Fold 3 because it now has an in-display camera in the larger screen. Yeah, it's only 4 megapixels and the clarity is not that great because in-display camera tech hasn't evolved yet, even for the best of players like Samsung. But now the software finally allows you to use the rear camera on the front using the front screen as a viewfinder, so that's pretty great. You can use the 12 megapixel main sensor itself as a selfie camera. The smaller display on the outside of the Z Fold 3 is also 120Hz now, just like the inner folded bigger display. That was one of the main things missing with the Z Fold 2 that discouraged many people from using the front display because it was a lower 60Hz refresh rate screen. In terms of new features, it's kind of a mixed bag between good news and bad news. The good news is this foldable display now supports S Pen compatibility, so you can use an S Pen on the screen, but the bad news is it has to be a separate S Pen which is designed for the Z Fold 3. There are two new S Pens, namely the S Pen Fold and the S Pen Pro, which has a Z Fold mode, so they even instruct you to put it in the Z Fold mode when you're using it with the phone. That makes the tip retract a little bit easier so it doesn't go as harsh on the foldable display. And in case you're a Galaxy Note user like me, you cannot use your existing S Pen on the Z Fold 3, it gives you a warning that it may damage the display. And this thing already has so much hardware complexity in it that they couldn't make room for an S Pen inside the body. So the S Pen made for this Fold 3 has to be carried separately and has to be recharged via USB Type-C. To me, that defeats the purpose of having an S Pen in the first place. The reason why I love the S Pen so much is that it completely gets out of your way when you don't need it. It stays in the body of your phone wirelessly charging the whole time and has its own battery. It's water resistant, has its own Bluetooth connection, and even when the battery runs out, you can still use it as a normal stylus. None of those features are available here, and that's really a missed opportunity. I wouldn't actually be mad if they replaced the entire Note series with the Fold series. Reports have suggested that because of a chip shortage, we won't be seeing a new Galaxy Note this year, so there won't be any Note 21. I mean, the power users are the primary customers for the Z Fold 3. Why else would you buy a phone with multiple displays in it? At least having some kind of a magnetic side which you can use to hold up the S Pen would have been a little bit better. The battery capacities are probably not going to impress anyone. The 3300 mAh on the Z Flip 3 and the 4400 on the Z Fold 3 are both smaller than the previous generation. But Samsung did manage to make the phones a little bit slimmer and a little bit lighter. I don't think anyone would notice that in daily use though. Yes, the prices have come down indeed, but so has the storage in the base model. While last year's Z Flip started at 256GB, this year starts at 128GB. And yeah, as per Samsung's new fashion, there won't be any charging bricks included in the box either. I'm not disregarding Samsung's efforts here. They have definitely made improvements to the durability. They are saying that it's 80% more durable and is capable of 200,000 folds. The new coating on the screen makes it feel smoother than the older plastic finishes, so yeah, that's pretty cool. That would probably reduce the overwhelming urge that you would have to remove that screen protector on the front. But frankly, I was looking more towards the S Pen compatibility than other things, so yeah, I'm kind of let down here. And as a fan of productivity, I would love to bring in a folding phone in my life, and this is the most refined folding phone we have at this point. But it still might not be the one that I end up jumping for. But that's just me. What are your thoughts on the Z Flip 3 and the Z Fold 3? I would love to know them. Leave them in the comments down below and I'll see you there. Cheers.